And then suddenly, I mean, how do you get named Chief Restructuring Officer? Do you remember that moment? Is it a call? Is somebody walk in your office? And what do? Do you run away? Do you?
There's one person in this room who worked together and knows every detail of that story without going through all the details of that story, because it's a very interesting over a beer kind of story. But I was very lucky to have met our then chairman, Carl Icahn, when I was division president. And he was a chairman, and he was sort of he was infamous already to some and famous to others, depending on how you perceive of him. But he had become infamous within the company, you know, for his infamous tender offer of $22 a share going back. That was probably right 6 months before I met him. That was happening in the public eye, and it was kind of wild to be in the midst of a company going through, and it was in the news all the time, not just regionally, largely because he's such a big figure. And I was just lucky enough to have gotten to have met him and had just a bit of a relationship just developed. And when we filed on the weekend we were filing, I spent the weekend in the office. You know, you're really like a deer in the headlights. Okay, you know confidentially that you're about to file for Chapter 11. A very small group, you know, knew. And I think within that weekend I had found out. And you're in an office with maybe 4 or 5 other people going through an exercise of identifying certain bits of information and kind of organizing them, and having no clue what's around the corner. And we filed on a Monday or a Tuesday, I don't recall. And our then COO was named CEO. And a couple of days, right at the time of filing, I got a call from Mr. Icahn saying, you know, can you come to New York and talk about this? And he mentioned this term I'd never heard called Chief Restructuring Officer. And I said, you know, is that something you'd be interested in? I said, I'd love to, but you have to tell me what that means, really. And I could probably guess and make something up and have it be, you know, 70% there, but I really didn't. And it just started from there, and spent time in New York for a couple of days, you know, with some of the board members, with our council, who happens to be based out here, and it was thrown on this new roller coaster, this new whirlwind.